Hi, this is Preeti Shinde. Today I'll be demonstrating a final term project. The first requirement was to create a web service that returns an XML document containing list of parts in the stocks. So what I did was I created a database table and I entered the information of the parts in that table. I did the web service in Java language, and the server used was Tomcat server. The important jars which are used are REST Easy Jaxby provider, REST Easy JX RX. So the first web service which I built was part list service. In this, I mentioned the context path and the path for the methods to call. This method gets the list of parts from the table and displays it as an XML. Now let's have a look at the output. So if I type this URL, the output is the data from the table with its ID and the reference to the detail link. If I add another record, if I add another record, this record is also displayed over here. Now, the next web service was to list the part details. So this is the reference to that next web service. So this is to display the information of the first part. Now I want to display the information for the third part. This is the output, which lists the part ID, the name of the part, description, the specification link, the unit cost, and the quantity which we entered in the table right now. The third requirement was to take XML as an input and create a purchase order. So I have created a purchase order service which consumes XML as an input. So whatever part ID we pass, it selects that part ID from the database. It gets its unit cost. Then it multiplies it with the quantity which we supply in our XML while placing the order, and inserts the order into the purchase order table and returns the order ID as an XML output. To demonstrate this, I have used REST control. So I set up the URL for purchase order, content type as XML, and this is the XML which I send for ordering. This is a dummy data for ordering quantity 3 for part ID 2. I can make it 5 and then post it. So the output is part ID 2, quantity 5, with the total cost as 29995, and 6 is the order ID which we get from the database. The next requirement was to write a program which accepts a keyword and invokes the Google search engine to retrieve the information relevant to the keywords. So for this, I created a custom search engine on Google. After creating the custom search engine, I got the search engine ID. While creating the custom search engine, I can mention which particular websites I want to search in. I entered star.com so that it lists as it searches the same as the Google does. The jar which is used is Google API Services Custom Search. So once the custom search engine was created, I created a project on my Google account and started and enabled the custom search API on that project. After that, I created a client. Once the client was created, I got the API key and the secret ID. So the API key for the project was entered here, and the search engine ID for the custom search engine is entered. Then we call the custom search API, set the API key, the search engine ID, and set the list level as 10 to display the first 10 records. The output is a JSON object which is then converted to HTML using JAXB. So this is the output from Google search engine. The next requirement was to post a message on Facebook. So for posting on Facebook, I created a Facebook account, and from the developer site, we have to select permissions. So what permissions we need to allow for this access token. So once we select the permission, we get an access token. That access token we need to place in our code. So the access token is placed, and then we use REST FB API to call the Facebook account. We create a Facebook client and then publish our message onto it. So this is what we submit. So hi Preeti, how are you doing? Is successfully posted on Facebook. So this has been posted just now. As an extra project, I tried using the translator API of Microsoft Cloud Service, uh, which translates from one language to another. I created a uh, client ID on Microsoft account and got my client secret key. So once that is done, I just call the translate API to execute, which converts the French language to English. So in the configuration, I pass French and I'll receive the output in English. Thank you.